All right. I want to welcome everybody here tonight to a very, very special call. As you guys know, my name is James Ward, and very excited to be your host here tonight on this Velocity Smart Contract call. As many of you know, we have just launched this contract not even a week ago, and it's been an amazing run for us so far. We've attracted some awesome people in this industry, some amazing leaders that have stepped in. At the same time, people are looking right now to make sure that this thing is real. And the reason why is because there's been so many challenges in this industry, so many companies that have come and gone, so many companies that have faked it. And we are here today to introduce the hedge fund that is behind the Velocity Smart Contract, and also just to educate you on what makes this so different from every other smart contract out there, and the opportunity that you have to grow your cryptocurrency and just your portfolio, your wealth every single week inside of this smart contract by something that is legitimate, something that is registered, and something that is just absolutely different than anything else that is out in the market. Now, as promised, I was able to get one of the principals of the company to come out here today that I'm going to introduce here in just a second to really just update us, educate us on the relationship between Lion Share Velocity and this company. And in addition to that, educate you on what's expected. What has this fund been doing? What makes them different from any other fund out there? As you guys know, if you look in the industry today, and we'll talk a little bit more about this in the conversation, there are a lot of things popping up, right? You see new bots popping up every single day. You can just pay someone on Odesk or whatever to create one of those for you. So you see all kinds of nonsense that are popping up that just simply aren't real, right? What you're going to be learning about here today is doesn't not only have the complete transparency of a smart contract built into it, but it also has the legitimacy of something that is completely registered and backed, and has to answer to someone than themselves, and that's important to get to. So without further ado, what I would like to do, I would like to bring out Bill today. Bill, can you unmute? I want to make sure I made you a panelist where you can come out and say hello. I think you got here. Let me ask you to unmute.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
All right, man, we got you loud and clear. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we appreciate you taking the time. For everybody here tonight, I got to tell you, I don't even want to attempt to butcher your last name. So I'm going to allow you to do that. But what I do want to do is I do want to give you a proper introduction. Folks, I would like to introduce you to Bill. Bill is one of the principals of Apex, which is the hedge fund that we're going to be working with inside of the Velocity Smart Contract. Bill has a tremendous amount of experience in the financial industry, and actually in many parts of working online and different things. So Bill, what I would like to do is just have you come out, tell us a little bit about yourself, and I'm going to shoot some questions at you. I just want to have a conversation with you here tonight, or this morning, I guess, in your case. For those of you who don't know, Bill's located on the other side of the world. So it's like 5 a.m. So Bill, I really, really appreciate you taking the time so early in the day to come out and speak to the group. But come out, tell us a little bit about yourself before we jump into these questions, and we'll get this thing rolling.
Absolutely. And firstly, let me thank you for the introduction and for having me here tonight. Although, like you said, it's today over here, past 5 a.m. Let me share my screen. So I believe it's better to show you some stuff and to your audience instead of having just my name and speaking.
Well, hey, man,
let me do this.
No one can say that last name anyway, so you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, this is why it's printed on the screen. Vasilios Papacharalamou. Just call me Bill.
Yeah, awesome. No, we appreciate that. So, so Bill, we can jump into this, man. And kind of get this thing started for those. But, just tell people a little bit about where you're located. A little bit about yourself, and then we're going to jump into some of these questions as far as our relationship, with Velocity, sure, with Lion Share, and Apex.
Sure. Firstly, let me know. Do you see my screen?
We do. Yes, sir.
Okay, so like James said, I'm located overseas in Cyprus, to be more precise. That's below Turkey, southeast Mediterranean Sea. And let's jump over to some more details so you can understand what exactly we're doing and how this fruitful relationship, partnership with Lionshare is going to be amazing. Firstly, I would like to congratulate you and all the team for your amazing growth. I've been looking into Lionshare for the past more than 1 year, actually. And I know that you having run over 100 million, correct me if I'm wrong, through your smart contract so far. And we all in the fund here overseas really look forward to helping you excel with the Tron Growth Fund and your new products. So my name is Bill Papaharalampu, like I've said, just call me Bill, and one of the directors of the Apex Fund management team. And I'm mostly here, guys, to give you sort of peace of mind by sharing who exactly we are and how we're helping Lionshare making significant profit gains, mostly via a solid and most powerful investing multi-structure, and by extending to all of its members, all of you. So let's clarify why this partnership is actually the combination of the greatest two protections that can possibly exist. My purpose on this call is to explain how our fund has set up. Maybe I will use some acronyms, some terms, but I will simplify it for everyone here, and how in-depth and due diligence the formation and the regulatory environment are, and what activities we do, the three main activities. So to make sure that both Apex and Lionshare are doing the right thing for all of you. Let me change some slides. Okay, as opposed now to every other company, especially cryptocurrency companies out there that basically say the fiat system is your enemy and the blockchain system is your friend. We are different because here in Apex is extremely well audited, extremely well supervised, and has to report to the government. So this protection already exists. There is a third-party external audit, an internal audit. There is a fund manager. You can see the name of the company is the Cypriot ones in EU here. There is a fund admin. All of these people, so you know, have to be registered with the CySEC. CySEC means Cyprus Securities Exchange Commission. And then when it comes to the distribution of the returns, the collection of returns, all is run and governed by a smart contract entirely. So that is the highest level of protection possible in the blockchain space. Our goal now here, as the slide says, simply said, is to provide all of our partners with the highest capital appreciation with a relatively low risk via short-term exposure in emerging markets. And we'll see more details in the couple more slides. Like I've said, we have three main sectors, and we primarily focus in these three activities you can see on your screen, and I will be happy to give you some more details so you know. Firstly is the liquidation and asset restructuring via FDI. FDI stands for Foreign Direct Investment. And this way, we gain exposure to distressed assets arbitrage, mostly in India, in emerging markets, in emerging jurisdictions. One of the best strategies that a hedge fund can do. It is very highly regulated and safe from capital perspective. In more detail, so you know better, we do that by taking short-term, as they called, short-term financing positions on assets undergoing liquidation. And due to the highly regulated nature of these transactions, there are, again, multiple third-party audits, title cleaning, and verified valuations. And all of that are performed as part of the process, making this highly secure mechanism for the fund and for Lionshare in extent. Secondly, we participate in equipment financing for ESG, that stands for environmental, social governance, compliant green technologies in the energy markets, in the energy sector, like oil and gas, and which is also very safe and reliable return generating long-term mechanism. And lastly, the fund applies high frequency algorithmic trading in the digital assets market with an emphasis on commodities, cryptocurrency, you know, that's your game mostly, derivatives to generate significant returns via external fund managers. So all these mechanisms.
Bill, yep. Before you go on there, I want you to just, if you go back to that just the previous slide for 1 second, because
sure.
I want to jump in here for just a second. You know, one thing that we've all experienced, especially in the industry that we are in, is we've seen a lot of companies that have popped up that either say, you know, they have an AI bot that, or some algorithm that they're following, or they have, you know, some traders behind the scenes that are trading, or we've even seen people hire actors. All kinds of craziness have happened in this industry. I know that's not the industry necessarily that you're familiar with, but you know, one word that you used when you were describing these three different aspects of Apex was the word protection. You used it more than once. It's designed to protect us as a client. So as a Velocity member being a client, so Velocity and Lionshare is actually the client of Apex. When you talk about protection, versus what you guys have, you talked about the audits, some of the third-party audits, some of those things, versus what you've seen out there in the rest of this space and the rest of the world of what I'm talking about. Why do you think this is different? Because I've yet to see a company come out that talks about, third-party audits and all the things that you're talking about. And I think the people here that have been either hurt or been part of companies where people have been hurt, they probably like to know a little bit more about that. And then we can get into the allocations itself. But can you talk just a little bit about what does that exactly mean, that you guys have people come in, they're auditing the books, you have internal audits, what and the protection side of it? Just talk a little bit more on that before we move forward. Oh, it looks like you're muted. Hold on, Bill. There we go. Try it again.
Yep, sorry, apologies, my mistake. For some reason I was unmuted. Can you hear me now?
We got you now, yes.
Okay. Well, I will be happy to share on a second call more details about each sector. But currently, when it comes to AI trading, like you said, we see all around social media, especially, Facebook, Telegram, WhatsApp, wherever, all these crazy companies jumping out of nowhere, promising huge returns with bots, trading bots, algorithmic trading, whatsoever. What we have done actually, and I can share some details, legally speaking, we have created some very good partnerships when it comes to technology companies that are specializing in online trading, in AI building algorithms when it comes to cryptocurrency trading and so on. So what we do actually, we are testing products upfront prior publishing them and offering them to our clients and to our partners. So this is not something new. This is not something that will run in, on September or on August or in the next semester. It's something that has been run for years, has amazing returns so far. And in the next slides, I'm going to show you what we have achieved, not only with the digital asset trading, but in all the combination of the three aspects. But like I've said, please allow me to jump on a second call and show you some more details, maybe offer a demo or whatever of what exactly we're doing on each sector, including the AI algorithmic trading. But like I've said, and also you also mentioned sometimes, we love transparency here. This is why we show our faces, who we are by our name, and what we're doing on the regulatory side of things on its sector. So if you allow me to move forward.
Yes, sir, man, it's yours. Go ahead.
Okay. So all these three mechanisms that you've seen in the previous slides establish a significant low risk, sort of saying, bedrock, with additional strategies overlaid for aggressive returns while still retaining the risk averse nature of the fund. Simply said, so not to confuse you, higher and safer returns with a minimum possible risk. Now, as a fund, our internal goal on average is 18.18% per annum. And as you can see here in this slide, competing with the top hedge funds in the world, and also since June 2020, the same strategies that we're using beat the S&P 500 index by over 96%. As you can see in here on the table on the right and on the graph on the left, we had some extremely well-performed months, some very good months, a few average, and one negative month. Again, I want to be fully transparent with everyone here. When it comes to investing in mid and long-term positions, you consider this to be a marathon, not a sprint. And like Warren Buffett, my favorite, said, we simply attempt to be fearful when others are greedy, and to be greedy only when others are fearful. So price is mostly what you pay, value is what you get. And we like our partners sitting on the say today because someone like us planted the tree a long time ago. That's more or less for you guys today. And as initially said, I look forward to helping you excel with the top growth fund and establish a long-term fruitful partnership with amazing returns for all of your users. I know COVID was a really bad situation, an unforeseen situation overseas, and for everyone here, not just US and EU, but also all across the globe. But again, at such times, opportunities always arise.
Yeah, man, it definitely was challenging for everybody out there, and we really appreciate you taking the time to come out here to break down exactly what areas of business you guys are allocating money to. The one thing that I got from this conversation, Bill, and I hope that everybody in
Yeah.
this room got, was the fact that like you said, you guys are looking for the highest potential return with the lowest amount of risk possible to get that right. I think that if you
Mhm.
look just strictly in the crypto market, and everyone's caught up in this crypto, and by the way, I mean, crypto is awesome. We know that. I mean, obviously, we're in the business that we're in because we love the cryptocurrency, and that's great. But we also know it also has huge swings, right, on the upside and the downside. So there's oftentimes when you talk about making money in these places that you get a bunch of traders that say they know what they're doing, but they get caught up on the wrong side. They get too leveraged, with a specific trade, and all of a sudden it all comes crumbling down. What is really attractive to me about what you guys do, and one of the reasons why we work inside of the Apex fund with you guys, is the fact that you can get out there and that you guys can protect it. And you said it. Hey, the goal, y'all's goal was to hit that 18% per year. Like that's your internal goal. You did over 100%, right? In the last year, and I know that that was a unique year. But at the same time, I mean, I think if you just look at the crypto market and you look at most traders out there, what they do is they just really most of the time correlate with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin's going up, they're going up. If Bitcoin's going down, they're going down. We've taken an approach where, hey, we're dealing not only in the crypto space, but we're also combining that with more traditional, investments, with the FDI, as you mentioned, with the solar project. So there's a lot of great things that are happening inside of there. Is there anything else that you might think that you could add to that? What I just said, as far as as we move forward here, what might be the type of expectations that someone can say? I know you guys said that you shoot for 18% a year. Your graph there, everything looked like you were averaging 13% or a little bit over that, 13.7% a month, which was in extreme circumstances. But what do you guys foresee, for the upcoming year, like just to get some expectations for the members that are inside Velocity?
Well, everything goes well. Yeah, we always need to have the bar low. So the reality will be exceeding the bar. So 80% is actually a really good return for any serious hedge fund. But everything goes well. I believe we can simply match do maybe over 25. But expecting at 80% at this moment, where the market is heading right now, the coming semesters and the coming year, 2022, I believe it's a very lucrative return for anyone out there. And if you accumulate it annually, you're looking possibly even more than 100% return as an annual figure.
Yeah, well, and I asked that because here's what our industry has done, as you know. I mean, we have companies that are promising 1%, 2% every single day. I know you've been in this financial space for a long time. Have you ever seen a company that's been able to produce those type of returns and actually be real? Do you know anything like that?
Like a steady 1 2% daily on more than a semester, I don't believe that such thing exists. Maybe, but I haven't noticed so far. So having
Yeah,
some, yeah,
I understand. Well, so Bill, if you don't mind, do you have just a couple minutes? What I'd like to do is I want to
yeah.
open up for some questions. Y'all, if you have questions, if you just want to throw them in the chat, it's super early where Bill's at. So he has a lot of other appointments lined up today. And as you guys know, being one of the principals of the hedge fund, he's got a lot of these meetings lined up. But if you have a specific question, you can either put it in the chat or ask on the Q&A. As the questions come in here, if we have any questions, we'd be more than happy to answer them. So if there's something that maybe you don't feel like we covered properly, please let us know. So here's a question. This is a good question. Bill, this is actually really a question for me, I think, and it's partly for you, partly for
Yep.
me. But the question is, how does the distribution for Lion Share Velocity members work inside of this contract? As you guys know, I mean, everything that we do is transparent 100% on the blockchain. Even the returns that come from Apex are actually filtered through a smart contract, right? So everything is completely transparent. In fact, if you look at our website and you go to the very bottom of our website, there's a little link there that's called Smart Contract. And you can actually see exactly every single contract, including that what we call the growth contract, which is the contract that we have with the Apex team. So, Bill, I know that that was kind of more towards me. Do you have anything that you want to add to that that maybe I missed? But that in a nutshell, what happens is every single week, Apex is going to send us a specific amount of return through a smart contract, which will be automatically deployed on a weighted basis, depending on how much you actually purchased your package for. And that amount will show directly on the smart contract where you can withdraw this every single Thursday after your onboarding period. So remember, the onboarding period is 14 days. And after that 14 days, every single Thursday, the return will actually show up there on the smart contract where you can withdraw it directly to your Tron wallet. So, Bill, I know I talked a lot there, man. Anything that you want to add to that that maybe I missed?
Yeah, actually, you placed it really good. And like I've said, everything here except the regulations that I've just described, how everything works, the multi-structure investing strategy that we have in place, everything will be governed. There is no human interference by the smart contract. So whenever returns are posted back to you guys, you take it from there through the smart contract to your members. That's all. No human interference whatsoever.
Yeah, great question. So here's another question. Will KYC be needed? No, you see, here's the beauty of what we're doing here. Since this is a smart contract technology, the smart contract is actually the client of Apex, right? So as an individual, you're not going to have to be, individually doing any type of KYC. You're not the actual client. The smart contract is the client. So just keep that in mind. You won't be required. So just like with our system right now, we really don't even know who anybody is. It's anonymous in the sense that we don't have usernames, we don't have email addresses, we don't even have passwords, right? We have your Tron wallet that's linked directly to your account. So that's exactly the way it will work. So good question.
Yeah, and let me reply directly to Forrest. I see a question here. Are hedge funds typically only available to those with lots of money? Yes and no. The good thing here by partnering with Lionshare is that by extent, all of you guys can participate. So we work directly with James, with Lionshare, with your smart contract product. And as a result, everyone through your tech can participate and pretty much enjoy these steady monthly returns.
Yeah. So, Bill, here's a question that it's kind of, we're in a unique situation. So this question is, how often do you pay a return back to your member? So just as we talked about, we pay it every single Thursday. So every Thursday that will be directly in your back office, directly to the smart contract. So you have the option every Thursday to either leave it on the smart contract or withdraw it directly to your Tron wallet. The only advantage to leaving it on a smart contract would be to save yourself some fees, right? If you don't want to pay the gas fee or the energy fee every single time, if you want to let that add up, that's the only real advantage. Other than that, I mean, we really encourage you to take it, but just make sure you're checking out those energy fees. But you can take it at any time. It will instantly show up in your wallet. So great question. One thing I want to do, just so we set proper expectations, Bill, I know, obviously we've talked about the goal of the fund is to hit that 18%. We know that 2020 was a phenomenal year, having, over 100% return, which is awesome. But I really, I don't want people to catch the only thing that we say is, hey, that they got 100%, right? What I want y'all to understand is that we're dealing with a real company, a real hedge fund. And in order to do that, we have to make sure that we have real expectations. And, what I would encourage people to do, just based on what I see, is I would encourage you to expect that 20 to 30% a year rather than, 100 to 200% a year. Now, most people are going to look at that and say, oh, well, James, that's not any good. Let me tell you something. The best hedge funds in the world are not doing 20% a yield, right? The richest people in the world don't have those type of rate of return. So it's important. I just tell you that because I want you guys to understand that as many times as I hear people say they want something real, they're sick of seeing companies go out of business, people get hurt. On the other side of their mouth, they're usually talking about how, well, what type of rate of return are you guaranteeing? We're not guaranteeing any rate of return, right? This is a real life market situation where we're actually have professionals out there doing it for us. So, Bill, I'm sorry to get on that soapbox a little bit, but I really like people to understand the transparency of what they have here. I don't know anywhere else in this world that you can see the transparency of a complete smart contract. You can see every single transaction that happens. You can see the legitimacy of a hedge fund that we're working directly with that, is not just, audited internally. You have third-party audits. You have to answer to the government. You're registered with the SEC in Cyprus. And it's a big, big deal to be part of something like that. And to have the opportunity to work with a hedge fund is so important. I've told this story, you guys have heard me, but most of the time hedge funds, you have to have 7 figures on your own to even be able to talk to them. Through the Velocity Smart Contract, we have a huge opportunity here to be able to work with a hedge fund and actually get the type of returns that you would never be able to have access to before that are real. Now, the fake ones are everywhere. You can find those everywhere. But if we're talking about real stuff, it's hard to find that. So sorry about that, Bill. I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that, but I just wanted to touch base on that.
No, the only thing I would like to add is when it comes to the audition, the auditors that you said about transparency and so on, this is not only something that we chose, that we're going to do it anyways. We are obliged by the law, especially when it comes to European funds, especially in Cyprus, not only to be transparent, but to operate on daily basis. Even the way you market, the language you're using on your documentation to match exactly what the Security and Exchange Commission wants you to put out there. Actually, the standards, so in Cyprus, when it comes to creating a fund, are exactly the same as in Switzerland or in Ireland. 3 of the most, including Cyprus, 3 of the most prestigious jurisdictions to building a solid fund.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And so a couple questions and one comment I want to say here. One comment is risk multiplies with overpromising. I mean, what a great quote. Risk multiplies with overpromising. I mean, how many times, not just in the finance world, but in life, do we overpromise? And oftentimes it gets us into bigger challenges than what we had before. So I think that is a great, great thing. And, I just wanted to mention that. So another question we had here is there a compounding component and how does it work? So inside of the Velocity contract, whatever package you purchase is the amount that's going to be put into it for you, okay, into the Velocity Tron Growth Fund for you. We allow you to take it every single week. So there's not necessarily a compounding effect, but we have something so unique here. Where most of the time you see companies out there, especially in this industry, they say, hey, if you double your money, you get to put your money back in, right? We're going to allow you to put money back into it and do it again. That we don't do anything like that. Okay. This is a perpetual fund. So this is like a one-time purchase that truly can pay you for as long as Tron has a blockchain, right? As long as Tron has a blockchain that we can participate in, this is going to pay you every single week. There is nothing else like that. You have to understand that. There's no, once you double, you have to put money back in. None of that. It's something that can continue to pay you every single week, which I don't think everybody completely understands. But with the transparency we have, being able to see not only your personal transactions, but the entire amount that is always working inside of Apex through Velocity is a huge, huge thing. So Bill, I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that, but I'm just reading through the questions here to see if there's anything else that maybe we didn't hit.
Maybe to answer the last one, maybe I create some confusion. It's my Greek accent. It happens all the time. So the Apex fund, our fund, Apex Capital in Cyprus, is registered with the Cypriot version of SEC, just not to confuse your US members. So you have the US SEC and the CySEC, the Cypriot SEC, okay, Security and Exchange Committee in Cyprus. So we accept, as a fund, we accept professional and well-informed investors and funds like Lionshare. So there is no confusion with the US version side of things.
Yeah, great point. I had one question here from Bobby asking, does a new purchase, when you purchase a new package, is it subject to a 14-day onboarding period? So I think essentially what you're saying is, hey, if I already own a package, I go out there and I decide to purchase another one today, is there another 14-day onboarding period? And the answer is yes. So every single time you purchase a new package, there is that 14-day onboarding period, okay? Because essentially we have to take all the funds, through the smart contract, get them into the Apex fund, where then they have to deploy it to the different strategies that Bill was telling us about. So great question, Bobby, but yes, that is the answer. Can you withdraw principal at some point? No, this is not a fund that operates like that. Since this is a perpetual fund, this is not something that you can go at some point and say, hey, I just want to take my funds back. This is something that's going to pay you every single week ongoing. Key thing though, okay? Key thing that you have to understand. With the transparency that you have, you can see every single dollar that is on, or every single Tron that is on the blockchain, right? You can see the total amount that not only is in your personal account, but you can also see the total amount that is on the Velocity contract that is working inside of Apex as well. And remember, this is all done with smart contract technology. So none of this can be manipulated. None of this can be, moved or destroyed or anything. It is there. So great question, but that is the way it works, is what we consider like a perpetual fund. And keep in mind that you are purchasing a package through Velocity. This is not like you are investing money direct with Apex. As we said, the reason why you have access to this is through the smart contract technology through Velocity. Most people, in fact, I would say probably 99.9% of us on here would not have the ability to work with a hedge fund outside of this opportunity. That's just the truth, because most of them you have to be an accredited investor, right? You have to have a certain amount of money, and some of them you have to have 10 million or more to even just talk to them. So this is a great opportunity for us to get to be able to participate in some of the upside of these markets while reducing the risk, and be able to work with a company that's absolutely legitimate.
James, allow me to clear there,
Yeah, sure.
because I think I may have confused maybe your audience. So you guys, meaning all of your amazing members, they're making purchases in the Velocity system, your product. They're not investing in us directly. Correct. So you're purchasing a package from the Velocity Lionshare, and it benefits from the growth that Lionshare receives from us. That's all simply said.
Yeah, you said it a lot better than I did, man. Yeah, that's as simple as you can possibly put it. Let's see here. Let's scroll down here. Bobby, just to follow up, he says, so ultimately, all the purchase packages will be combined with the growth fund. That is absolutely right. So 55% of every single package that's purchased through Velocity will actually be put into the growth Tron fund. That's exactly right. How would a negative return affect the weekly payments to members? So, Uno, since this is done on a weekly basis, it doesn't mean that we can't have negative weeks. We absolutely could. But if there was a negative week, there just wouldn't be a payment made to the smart contract, right? So that's a great question. If there's no payment to be made, it just simply won't come from Apex. So if we do experience a negative week, which it can happen, but if you looked at the graph that Bill actually showed us, Bill, what did you guys had one down month in the last 12 months? Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to add, you can expect that you're going to have some bad months. I mean, we're all of us optimistic. The right thing, though, is how to pivot a really bad, let's say an average, a medium, or a bad month to a more well-performed month, like I showed you in the graph, like it was in November, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. No, I understand what you're saying. Let's see if there's any more things that we have not responded to. I think we got it here. Well, Bill, listen, I really, really appreciate your time. I don't know if there's anything else that you might want to chat on. I know we went through, obviously, the investment and the structure side fairly quickly for people who are new, understanding what FDI, or the energy side of it with the financing. Some of that might be new. Is there anything you might want to close with to finalize this before we totally wrap it up? Anything else you might want to add?
No, mostly, like I said, I look really forward, and all the Apex team. We had a very good talk and meetings in Cyprus when we started to establish our fund to find some and actually work with some partners like you, like you're also members by extent. And I really look forward to helping you excel with your Tron Growth Fund as well. And allow me in the next maybe talks and interviews and webinars we're going to have together to have a more, let's say, friendly talk with your audience, have also my webcam on. I didn't know that it was going to be that early, so please forgive me that. I'm not hiding. I'm here, just sitting more comfortably than usual my early morning. So next time we can have a coffee chat, whatever.
Yeah. No problem, man. No problem. For those y'all don't know, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning there when we started this with Bill. So, man, I appreciate you. I know you said you're an early riser anyway, but I appreciate you taking the time to get up and come to talk to the Velocity and Lionshare family. One thing we would love to invite you back out, possibly even monthly or as often as we can to get you out here to talk more detail about the specifics. People love to hear this, and the reason why is because just the challenges that have been specific to this industry have been really hard on a lot of people and hurt a lot of people out there. So I'm so excited to give people a chance that they just haven't had before through this Velocity contract. I'm going to end it with this. I'm grateful and thankful for each and every one of you all taking the time to come out. And Bill, thank you so much for spending your time with us. I want to remind you all, there is nothing else like out there like Velocity. Think about this. Every single person can win. Everybody from the top producer to the middle producer to the person just getting started to even someone that just wants to grow their Tron every single week through being able to partner with Apex, this amazing hedge fund. So I just want to say thank you all for taking the time to come out and join us. We really appreciate the time. Bill, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to seeing you back out here again, and maybe try to get back and get some sleep, man. It's super early there, but we appreciate you waking up and coming out and joining us here today.
Thank you as well for your time, and I'm wishing you all a lovely week ahead.
All right.
Very thankful to be here.
Awesome, Bill. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great evening, morning, afternoon, depending on where you're out. We'll make sure to get this recording out as soon as we possibly can, because I know how important this is to the field to be able to see how real this actually is. Y'all have a great day. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye.